So the big question all day today, why wasn't there any warning? Why didn't the tornado sirens sound last night? Even at the time of the storm, in fact, when the twister hit, the National Weather Service hadn't even issued a severe thunderstorm warning. The only hint that people had that destruction was on its way was the sound of the wind, the twister itself.
I heard like a swirling noise and then basically ran to the downstairs, the lower level. And then the tree came in right behind me on the step.
So why no warning? We took that question right to the National Weather Service, which told us that this was the kind of tornado that starts out on the ground, it happens suddenly, and it happens without warning.
The storm was in all other respects not severe until that point. We had issued a severe thunderstorm warning on it when it was offshore earlier, and it had what we thought was a hail core. Where there would be one large hail in it, but that had weakened and it looked pretty much just like an ordinary thunderstorm. The main threat we were worried about was heavy rain.
He says the radar sweeps around every 4 minutes, and this one appeared about a minute after the scan went by. The tornado was on the ground only for just 10 minutes, and its path was 6 miles long. And now we're told that the NWS is planning to upgrade their radar this month, and that should help in the future.
All right, well, in the meantime, so let's bring Bill back in to show us just how quickly this tornado formed last night. Bill?
Well, it did. We've got some radar images, and they're not the radar images that you're used to seeing, which are basically raindrops reflecting back, showing you how hard it would be raining there. But this is 1018, and this is our velocity mode. The radar site is over here, and what this is measuring is air that is moving toward the radar in the green color and away from the radar in the red. You can see winds are pretty shifty around these thunderstorms here. I want you to focus right down here. Here's 131 Expressway. You've got 68th Street going to Cutlerville here. This is 54th, and then it takes that jog, becomes 52nd there in Kentwood, and 44th Street up here to the north. Here you've got a pretty strong wind coming at you out of the west-southwest, and you got an easterly wind up in here. But just based upon that, I probably would not issue a tornado warning. But look what happens in the next 5 minutes. Here we've got a good inflow of rather strong wind out of the east. We've got very strong winds here. We clocked these at about 90 miles an hour. There is rotation going on right here. Here's where your tornado is. This is crossing US 131. Now we get up to another 4 minutes. You can see here it is crossing 52nd. Moving off to the north, again, you've got the winds here. You've got winds right there. Rotation coming right over the area. And then as it scoots out of the area, you can see things kind of wind down here just a little bit. It was one of those storms that's very short-lived and relatively small. It was about the only severe weather report that we had. And, of course, we did have a lot of heavy rain. Up to 5 inches of rain fell with these storms in northern Montcalm County.
Some great perspective. Thank you, Bill. Well, we do know that all of this damage is impressive to look at, but work crews are urging you to stay out of their way. In fact, just at our location, Clay Avenue, which is a dead-end street, we've seen several people out driving around looking at the damage. Now, officials tell us all of the extra traffic is making it difficult to get around. So unless you need to be in this area, city officials are asking you to simply stay home.
And check this out. Here's a look at some of the damage from the sky. You can see a lot of the trees down, a roof ripped off of a laundromat in Kentwood. We'll show you more of this video, and we'll compare it with some pictures from before the storm. That's coming up. Also, when you wake up for daybreak in the morning, we're talking about how do you recover from a storm like this? When should you call the professionals? Who do you call to remove the storm debris? How do you handle dealing with your insurance company? We'll walk you through some of those steps tomorrow morning on Daybreak.